All right. So Drew Brees was interviewed earlier today on Yahoo Finance, and he was being asked about potential, NFL players kneeling in the future to protest police brutality, and his answer is pretty disturbing. So let's take a look and see if I get any type of copyright strikes from showing this.
Protests from a few years ago, and obviously they were always about police brutality, and now it's coming back to the fore, and a lot of people expect that we will see players kneeling again even when the NFL season starts. I'm curious how you think the NFL will and should respond to that, and of course, you're such a leader in the league. What is your responsibility as a leader?
He's such a leader.
In times like this for the rest of your teammates and players in the league?
Guy needs a trim.
Well, I will never agree with anybody disrespecting the flag of the United States.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Get this through your privileged ass head, Drew Brees. It's not about disrespecting the flag, you ignorant motherfucker. It is about protesting police brutality. You are taking a knee. It has nothing to do with the flag. What happened to freedom of speech, freedom of expression? You fucking dummy. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, I don't want to, not into the whole, cancel culture thing, but, somebody with his position and privilege as a multimillionaire sports star, a white male as well, you have a untold amount of privilege, and saying it's disrespectful to kneel to protest police brutality when police brutality unfortunately is a everyday occurrence, especially in communities of color, especially in marginalized communities, and you saying it's disrespectful to kneel during the national anthem to protest that. You know what's disrespectful? Not kneeling, not taking a stance. That's disrespectful. You're the one who's being disrespectful right now, Drew Brees. Get out of here with that bullshit take. Jesus Christ.
America or our country. Let me just tell you what I see, or what I feel when the national anthem is played, and when I look at the flag of the United States. I envision my two grandfathers who fought for this country during World War II, one in the Army and one in the Marine Corps, both risking their lives to protect our country.
Right, let's start that again so it's a little
And a lot
louder.
of people expect that we will see players kneeling again even when the NFL season starts. I'm curious how you think the NFL will and should respond to that. And of course, you're such a leader in the league. What is your responsibility as a leader in times like this for the rest of your teammates and players in the league?
Well, I will never agree with anybody disrespecting the flag.
Not disrespecting it, dummy.
Or our country. Let me just tell you what I see or what I feel when the national anthem is played and when I look at the flag of the United States.
What my grandpa do,
I
yeah.
envision my two grandfathers who fought for this country during World War II, one in the Army and one in the Marine Corps, both risking their lives to protect our country and to try to make our country and this world a better place.
That's what the people who kneel are trying to do. They are trying to make this country and the world a better place by having the police be accountable to try to diminish the amount of people getting brutalized by them. Again, especially people of color and marginalized communities who are disproportionately violently repressed on a daily, ongoing basis by the police. Kneeling to protest that, to highlight there needs to be systemic change in policing to address police brutality is making the world a better place. Standing up, staying silent, doing nothing like you're advocating for, Drew Brees, that's making the world a better place, you doofus.
So every time I stand with my hand over my heart,
you're doing nothing. You're being a little sheep who is scared about pissing off protesters, or who is scared about pissing off probably the owners of the NFL, and you're very caught up in your own white privilege. Again, you're a multimillionaire white male sports star. If you had any courage like Colin Kaepernick, you would be following his lead right now. But you don't, unfortunately.
Looking at that flag and singing the national anthem, that's what I think about. And in many cases, it brings me to tears, thinking about all that has been sacrificed, not just those in the military, but for that matter, those throughout the civil rights movements of the 60s.
Do you see what's happening on the streets right now? How fucking tone deaf do you gotta be? The police all across the United States are brutally attacking peaceful protesters like they did during the civil rights movement. Child last weekend was pepper sprayed by police. People are getting shot in the eye with rubber bullets, including journalists. People are getting hit by police cars. Pedestrians are being attacked. People in their homes are being attacked. Kind of important to highlight that, don't you think, Drew?
Everyone and all that has been endured by so many people up until this point.
What? Making a video. People are still, up until this point, getting brutalized and beat by the police, so it's kind of important to highlight that fact and not just cower away from it because it makes you uncomfortable.
Everything right with our country right now? No, it's not. We still have a long way to go.
Well, if not everything's right with our country right now and we still have a long way to go, don't you think it would be a good use of your huge, massive platform to take a kneel during the national anthem to highlight the problems with police brutality that are happening all across the United States? Nope, you're not willing to think past yourself and your power and privilege.
But I think what you do by standing there and showing respect to the flag with your hand over your heart is...
That's not showing... Again, it has nothing to do with this stupid American flag you keep talking about. It's about protesting police brutality, and I thought under the First Amendment we have freedom of speech. Kneeling is not disrespecting the flag. What's disrespectful is not to speak up, not to use your huge, massive platform to try to create some change like Colin Kaepernick did. You're not willing to put your neck out there on the line or your career because you're more worried with protecting the status quo than with actually making the country better, and you're a huge sellout.
It shows unity. It shows that
we don't need unity right now. We need people who are willing to speak up and call out the injustices in the world. It's not time to sing Kumbaya around the campfire, you ignoramus.
We are all in this together. We can all do better, and then we are all part of the solution.
Jesus. Drew Brees is horrible. Horrible, horrible. That's why, Colin, maybe he was amendable to the idea. Then he saw what happened to Colin Kaepernick. He's like, not really willing to risk my career for this cause. I already have a lot of money and privilege and don't really care to speak up because it's not good for my brand. So I'm just going to talk about unity. Civil rights movement. We've moved past it. Things are good. Things are good. And again, it's really important to point out that on the spectrum of racism, you're either working towards being an anti-racist or you're engaging in racism. And by Drew Brees not willing to use his platform, his immense platform, to speak out about this issue, to kneel, to protest peacefully against police brutality like Colin Kaepernick was, he is on the racist end of the spectrum. The anti-racist position would obviously be to speak up about this from the mountaintops, to kneel, to do everything you can within your power. You have a lot of power. You're a millionaire. You're being interviewed all over the place if you wanted, and you could be doing a lot of good, and just instead of talking about these platitudes and unity and disrespecting the flag, it's disrespectful of the flag for you not to speak up about injustices, Drew Brees. Hugely disgusting, hugely disappointing, and again, kudos to all the NFL players in the past who will me to highlight police brutality. Colin Kaepernick started it, and there was a decent amount who followed. And look at the consequences as a result. He was blacklisted from the NFL for highlighting this social injustice that's been happening to communities of color and marginalized folks for a number of decades. And Drew Brees just wants everybody to go along to get along. He doesn't want to upset the apple cart. He doesn't want affecting his brand. He doesn't want it affecting his earnings potentials. And it shows you what he's all about. It's gross. It's disgusting.